So business cycle, which stages are you in? We're going to talk a little bit about what I call the ESCH-CURVE. By the way, this is trademarked. I actually went to task to get this trademark, but there is a concept in business called the ESCH-CURVE. And as you can see here, the letter, oh, it's not working. Okay, there it is. So with the ESCH-CURVE, take a look at that letter S, and you can see that it's italicized and slanted. And if you start with the lower left, where that line is, that's when you are starting your business and you're putting money into setting yourself up. So that's in your startup phase. How many of you have been through startups here? Absolutely, okay? Then when you go down to the bottom, that's kind of your trough of spending money. So basically you've done everything you need to do. You bought your equipment, you hired your employees, you have your location, you trained everyone, you're ready to open the doors, and it's at that point when you start going up the accelerated growth phase, okay? And you can see here there's a couple of notches along the way. And then when you get up to the top, you see that you peak, and that's called the mature stage. And you can mature for a number of reasons. You're no longer interested in selling, or let's say you've got a manufacturing facility and you're at peak capacity, and you have no place to expand, so now you're going to have to think about moving on to another location to manufacture your widgets or something like that. And then, unfortunately, I've met 2/3 of the business owners I've met, unfortunately, are past the mature stage, and they're on the declining phase. And when I ask them what they want to do, what they want to sell their business for, and they tell me, well, X. And I say, what do you base X on? Well, 4 years ago, I was at my peak when my sales were at the most and my profits were at the most. And that's a little too late because people will not pay on what could have been. And the other thing is that people won't pay on what could be. So if you're saying I stopped marketing, but if you pick up marketing, you'll get yourself back up to the other level. If you bring the financials to a bank, the bank's going to say, well, we don't lend on what could be. And we don't lend what happened 4 years ago. So that's why you always have to be up and running currently. So this bubble that I hope appears here. So when is the time for you to start thinking about, this is supposed to go up here. Okay, so what you want to be able to do is start thinking about your exit strategy when you're up the accelerated growth phase. You really shouldn't be talking about what your next plan is going to be for your business, whether you're going to exit or you're going to acquire another firm or you're going to be acquired. You shouldn't be doing it at the top of the ESCH-CURVE. You should be doing it on your way up. And I would argue that everyone here should have exit planning as always a top 10 list of things to do. If you're starting up, obviously it's not number one, but it's on the bottom because you got to be thinking about that. When you're in 4, 5, or 6, year 4, 5, or 6, it should be moving up the notch to maybe 4 or 5 on your list of top things to do. Certainly when you're year 7 or 8, it should be well near the top because you got to think about either exiting, expanding, being acquired, something like that. So it should always be there. For those of you that want to find out a little bit more about the ESCH-CURVE, it's on my website there. It's eschbachenterprises.com/services. And what you see here that you cannot read is a description of what each phase is pretty much like. I think you understand what I mean by that.